Hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Hear you.
All right. So does everybody have the chat box open? And if you do, maybe shoot just a quick little message to let me know that you can hear me. I see a few people. I see Ruth and Carla and Alan. You guys want to give me a little note that you can hear me? That would be great. And then we'll kind of get rolling. So awesome, Carla. Thanks for the quick little message there. And Alan, I got your message. Fantastic. So good. So I know everybody can hear me. Fabulous. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I kind of want to start off with is just simply, I'm really excited that everybody's here. So welcome. If we've not met before, this is Dr. Chris Cox, and I absolutely love supporting people who are really motivated to improve their health. So I'm actually motivated to help you remove some of the compromises from your life so you can experience all of your health goals and aspirations. So I realize and know that that a lot of times over the 20 years of working with people that there's lots of struggles regarding nutrition. People get kind of lost in all of the misinformation out there. And so part of the things I enjoy after doing this for 25 years is adding a lot of clarity and keeping things really simple and usable for people. So I find that's an important piece as we're talking about nutrition. So as we kind of get going here, if you have any questions during our time together, please definitely post them on the little the chat kind of widget, so to speak, and I'll do my best to respond as quickly as I can. If I don't hear anything, I'll definitely go through at the end, and we'll answer some questions. And if I missed anything, we can go back to that. And also, you'll have a very special opportunity at the end of the presentation to come to the office to have an assessment by one of our doctors. So we'll talk about that later. As we kind of move forward now, one of the greatest things about talking about nutrition is I want to make sure that there's really accurate sources available for information. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So all of the sources from today's presentation are actually on the Facebook event on our Facebook page. So that is lifelinewellness.com. Or Lifeline Wellness on Facebook. And if you go to our events tab, you can find today's event there. And I posted those resources online. So if you want to read those, you can definitely look there for them. So as we kind of get going, it's really become increasingly obvious that we have a massive food epidemic in the world. Childhood obesity is soaring. Upwards of 70% of our kids are obese. Lifestyle diseases are taking millions of lives each year, and the statistics continue to get bad. So in a report called the Cabinet Office Report, the title was Food, an Analysis of the Issues, which was commissioned by the Prime Minister of Britain. It's as a precursor to a government review of food policy and a new strategy for tracking obesity. It includes really some grim predictions about the growth of obesity in Britain, and I think we can take this information and by extension apply it to the US. With 60% of the population expected to be overweight by 2050, compared to 28% today, and 70% of girls and 55% of boys expected to be overweight or obese in 40 years. I mean, it's shocking. The report goes on to discuss children, and on average, children eat only 2.5 portions of fruit and vegetables per day, which is actually half the recommended intake. So they only eat 50%, and they also eat 50% more added sugars than the recommended maximum, which is significant already. and 25% more saturated fat. So, all of this information just kind of supports the idea that, what we're doing food-wise just doesn't work. So data from another study called the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey from 2009 and 2010 basically stated that more than 2 in 3 adults are considered to be overweight or obese. More than 1 in 3 adults are considered to be obese. More than 1 in 20 adults are considered to have extreme obesity. About 1/3 of our children and adolescents from 6 to 19 are considered overweight or obese. I mean, that's 1/3. That's shocking to me. And then more than 1 in 6 children and adolescents 6 to 19 are considered to be obese. So it's sad, that this is all choices and learning and the education process about what food is and how we fuel our bodies. So what's the goal with really sharing these statistics? So stay with me here. The key is I understand it all comes down to kind of personal responsibility is the key to making some of these changes and successes. So I understand that many people feel like getting healthy and staying healthy is hard work. But the reality is that there are 2 paths we can take in life. Path 1 is easy and then hard, and path 2 is hard and then easy. I wish this were not the case, but most people really just opt for path 1, which means that they don't take their health seriously at a young age. And then their life gets progressively more difficult as they reach into their 40s, 50s, 60s, as they begin to lose their health. So if you're willing to do the hard work now, which I know you are since you showed up for this class, it might be viewed as hard work, but my goal is to make the hard work easy so that you can enjoy the process and enjoy the outcomes of taking personal responsibility for your health. Doing the hard work now increases the probability we're going to have an easier experience as we age. I can tell you it's worth it being on both sides of this equation. We definitely want to take the easy way or take the hard way first. We just get a quality life as we continue to age, rather than an easy experience because we're just kind of eating whatever we want to. And then we get into our 50s, 60s, 70s, and now our health is terrible. And it takes a lot of effort to make improvements. And some of those damages are permanent. So when you hear me take personal responsibility, how does that make people feel? So you guys are willing to kind of chime in on that question. And then secondly is why, right? Do you guys get that taking personal responsibility for your success and making these changes, you guys agree with that, or is that totally off base? What do you guys think? And feel free to kind of use the chat group there, and you can kind of type in there. All right, well, let's kind of keep moving on here. I want to debunk a few myths that are out there as we continue to kind of learn about nutrition. So the intention of this class is really to open your eyes and mind to some truth about nutrition and kind of cut through the garbage that's out there. So myth number 1 is whole wheat is a health food and an essential part of a balanced diet. Right? This is so wrong on so many levels. For starters, the simple thing is the wheat that we eat today is not that wheat that we ate 50 or 100 years ago. It's biochemically very different. So it creates all kinds of different problems. So it's an important piece of this puzzle is to know that whole wheat is actually not a health food. Right. So myth number 2, eating fat makes you fat. Right. So the myth was that if you want to lose weight, you need to eat less fat. Absolutely not true. Myth number 3, a high protein diet increases strain on the kidneys and raises your risk of kidney disease. Again, completely not true. Myth number 4, all calories are created equal. It doesn't matter which type of foods they are or where they're coming from. That is absolutely not true. All foods are not or all calories are not created equal. And then myth number 5, the only people who should go gluten-free are people with celiac disease. Again, another major myth. So it might be true for sure for celiac disease, but it's actually true for a lot more reasons. So you need to hear the truth, because there's nothing more important than your ability to live with vitality, right? Our goal is not to scare people with this information, but to provide a resource that kind of cuts through the BS out there of all the marketing and advertising and products and all that kind of stuff that people try to sell you. So our goal is not to create more stress. It's not to prevent you from enjoying yourself because not to prevent you from enjoying yourself because eating well requires work. The goal is actually to help you become more aware of what you want to do to make better choices without compromising anything, because eating well should be fun. It should be rewarding. It should be exciting. So are any of those myths surprising to anybody? No? All right. So before I start some strategies to make nutrition fun, exciting, easy, rewarding, and successful, right? I want to share kind of a really important quote that I found is really, really important and kind of puts everything in perspective. The quote is simply this: when you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams. And when you don't, you have one. And simply put, the reality is when we lose our health, nothing else matters. I mean, check in with that. It's true, right? If you have a cold, it doesn't matter what you're doing, right? Everything else centers around getting better. So when we lose our health, the only important thing that matters is getting that health back. So it's a critical piece to take care of. So my goal for you is that you'll be able to dream big, dream bold, dream without any limitations. So lots of people have dreams regarding, their life, and your health shouldn't be one of those limiting factors. So nutrition is a big part of that. So let's kind of get started on some of these strategies as we kind of get rolling here. All right, so the first one is this: eat like a caveman or a cavewoman. Right. So during the Paleolithic period, even many thousands of years ago, people ate primarily vegetables, fruit, nuts, roots, meats, and really varied depending on the season that they were available. So based on scientific research examining the types and quantity of foods our kind of hunter-gatherer ancestors ate, the foundation of what everybody kind of refers to as the paleo diet is lean meat, including ostrich and bison, as well as other organ meats, seafood, fresh fruit, non-starchy vegetables, and really just a far cry from what the U.S. is eating today, and what we kind of refer to as the standard American diet. And if you remember, if you kind of use those initials, standard American diet, what is the first letter of each word? Well, it's SAD. Right? And I think that describes really what our diet is very accurately these days. So today, these staples have been largely replaced with refined sugar, right? High fructose corn syrup, cereal, bread, potatoes, pasteurized milk products. So most people eat a much narrower selection of fruits and vegetables, roots and nuts, and in lesser quantities than our kind of cavemen or cavewomen ancestors. So a study from University of California had out-of-shape volunteers eat a paleo-style diet for 2 weeks. And in that time, their blood pressure levels decreased, as did their levels of cholesterol, by an average of 30 points, which the researchers compared to the type of drop you get from taking statins for 6 months, right? So this is dietary changes for 2 weeks, right? Which is huge. So their levels of triglycerides also got better as well. They lowered. So you're wondering what you should and should not eat. Well, so there's some things that I like to make sure that I mention. One would be grass-produced meats, right? So grass-fed is what you want to look for on the package. Fish or seafood, and preferably not kind of bottom-dwelling fish or seafood, meaning like lobster or shrimp. Fresh fruits and veggies, eggs, nuts and seeds. Healthy oils, which would be like olive oil, walnut, flaxseed, macadamia, avocado, coconut oil. Those are all really, really good choices. What not to eat? Cereal grains, right? Legumes, which includes peanuts, dairy, refined sugar, potatoes, processed foods, salt, and then refined oils, stuff like that. Are those the things you really want to stay away from? So I'm going to kind of give you guys some really pretty awesome resources here in a minute. that you want to begin to incorporate into kind of this. I don't like technically the term paleo because I don't know, it kind of gets lumped up with a lot of misinformation, but a paleo style or similar lifestyle. So specifically, what I've done is I've got some ideas. I'm just going to kind of list them here. But what I did is I posted the list and the links to the websites that actually have the recipes. I posted it again on the event Facebook page, so you can find that again at Life Aligned Wellness. And go to our event page and you click on this event, and in one of the posts it'll actually have all of these recipes already there for you. So for breakfast, you can make your own granola. Some what's referred to as primal breakfast burritos, Italian scrambles, and sweet potato breakfast skillet with bacon. I haven't had lunch yet, and I'm actually getting a little hungry myself. So lunch ideas: some chicken fingers, lettuce tacos with chipotle chicken, Asian rainbow salad, some dinner ideas: beef and broccoli stuffed sweet potatoes, buffalo chicken salad. Snack ideas, some mixed nuts are a great idea. There's bars that are fantastic also. So some dessert, you can actually make your own ice cream in a really simple way. So lots of really good choices. So definitely share some of these resources with your friends or family. Obviously we have some holidays coming up. These are great ideas to bring to parties and stuff like that, because we know we're going to get better quality fuel to actually feed our body. So some great stuff here. All right, so these next kind of tips I kind of want to give you guys. One is, go for more crunch and food that you can grow, right? So what does that really mean? Well, I'm going to state the obvious for a minute, because sometimes the things that are most visible sometimes are overlooked. So really, obviously, a sweet potato comes from the ground, an egg comes from a hen, but where did the Pop-Tart come from? Well, it didn't come from the Pop-Tart bush or the Pop-Tart tree, right? So far too many people are actually grabbing processed foods that are lacking vital nutrients such as antioxidants and fiber. So the more you process a food, the less nutrients it has. So what's even worse is that a lot of processed foods tend to sneak in things that aren't even really necessary, like extra sodium or salt and sugar. So here's the trick. Right? Every meal should be filled with vibrant and natural colors. So in addition, you should be on a quest to crunch, right? So look for snacks that offer a big, satisfying, like people are going to hear you eat them. Like I picture when I bite into an apple, or like some raw broccoli, right? That's like, you can hear it, right? So celery, snap peas, carrots, nuts, and they also keep your mouth busy longer, right? So, as a parent to young kids, right, sometimes your ears need a little bit of a break. So give them something crunchy to chew on. It'll keep them busy too. So the more you chew, the slower you eat, and the more time your body has to register fullness, right? So this is from Michelle K. Berman, a registered dietitian in Virginia. The science behind this is that it actually takes 20 minutes for your brain to register that you're full. So a lot of times people just eat for, all the way through 20 minutes, when in reality, they were probably full, 20, 30, 40 minutes ago. So unfortunately, like I said, people just kind of keep eating beyond whether they're actually full. So some great crunchy kind of food items would be roasted chickpeas. I actually saw these in bags, organic ones, and a couple different flavors at Costco. So great crunchy foods and really simple to eat and carry around. Almonds and pumpkin seeds, frozen grapes are a great idea. Carrots and celery, organic popcorn is crunchy. Apple slices with almond butter, kale chips, right? So those are all some examples of things that are crunchy. So really simple to include. So you also never be hungry and never be full, right? So there's many opinions kind of on this concept, and studies that prove the importance of small meals throughout the day versus large meals, and other reports which kind of say the exact opposite. And my opinion is we kind of really need to have a strategy that helps hundreds of people's, over the years. What has the most kind of support? What's going to work for the most number of people? This is also why you want to talk to a healthcare professional that understands nutrition. It can help make some more custom recommendations for your particular situation. So it's true regardless of the case that eating regularly so that you're never hungry, never full, will actually keep your metabolism consistent, and you're not going to see spikes in blood sugar. It's typically prevents you from overeating as long as you maintain strong portion control, and it often keeps your energy levels high, right? So those are all obviously great benefits. Research from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has actually taken years of research and synthesized it into some kind of adult weight management guidelines. And one topic they've analyzed is the effects of a regular meal and snack pattern on weight loss. So several studies show that eating 4 to 5 times per day, meals or snacks, is associated with reduced or no obesity risk. So the research also shows that 3 meals a day could actually hurt your efforts to reach and or maintain a healthy weight. So eating less than 3 meals a day or snacks per day may increase the risk of obesity, but the risk goes up when people eat 6 or more times per day. So, like, what does that all mean, right? It's like, well, don't do this, but do that, and don't do this, do that. Well, just generally, right, kind of the grazing idea. We don't want to pile all of our calories in one meal. That's definitely not ideal. Just generally kind of keep in touch with your own kind of personal, how's your energy level when you're doing this? So you might be thinking eating 6 times each day. That's an absolute ton of eating, right? But when you have proper meal planning and you have a good strategy, which is what's next, is it actually becomes really viable and really healthy for your body. So the whole idea of meal planning is an exercise that you need to deploy for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you can kind of rinse and repeat. So the idea, having done this for 20 to 25 years with people, I have found that people typically eat very similar things over a kind of a 2 to 4 week time frame. So rather than trying to come up with, new meals every week and every day, kind of look at your calendar in kind of 2 to 4 week kind of cycles, right? So what I mean by this is if you have a meal plan for week 1 and then another for week 2, you can use week 1's ideas again in week 3 and week 2's ideas in week 4, right? Or you can have a 4-week meal plan that you reuse each month, right? So, but do not have a 1-week meal plan, right? You're going to burn out. Your nutritional diversity is going to be limited, and it's important for your success, right? Nobody likes to eat the same food every day, right? So there has to be some variety. So some steps to kind of build your meal plan. So step 1 is simply plan your week. This means look at your week, see what is currently scheduled, business meetings, time with your children or grandchildren, social activities, whatever those things might include. And you should be taking meals with you so that you're never left without nothing optimal to eat, right? One of the biggest problems we see is people don't plan, and then there's nothing to eat, and they're famished, right? And then when people are famished, there's nothing available except fast food, and then that's what they eat, right? So having a little bit of planning, keeping some food with you that you can kind of circumvent that cycle can be really, really helpful. Step 2, go shopping, right? Prepare enough dinner each night so that you have leftovers for lunch the next day, right? That makes meal planning way easier, reduces the amount of time you have to spend cooking. Also, have a variety of go-to kind of breakfast choices, including smoothies, gluten-free oatmeal, eggs, organic Greek yogurt, fruit, and finally, narrow down 3 to 5 snack items each week that you'll spread out each day. It is best to typically shop around the perimeter of the grocery store, as the aisles are typically where people struggle and where all the processed foods are. So if you can do majority of your shopping outside, that's a better way to go about it. Step number 3, never go to bed without a prepared lunch. One of the most effective ways to keep your meal planning kind of running smoothly is to commit to going to bed once your breakfast, lunch, and snacks are already packed. All right. Otherwise, the morning's typically too chaotic. You'll end up skipping a meal or forget to run out of time to pack it. You'll bring something processed or take something or take nothing with you to work or school. And then you're out of the house, which means you need to grab something. And that typically, again, goes back to fast food. Step 4, rinse and repeat. right? I highly encourage creativity in your meal plan, but don't get too creative where sustainability gets lost, right? If you're, cooking these massive lunches and there's no way you can actually get through cooking every day, well, you're going to kind of get tired and it's not going to happen. You'll fall off. You won't have that consistency. And then step 5 is smile, right? I mean, enjoy the process, right? Realize that it's a path to your dreams. Keep the meals fun and creative, but always, err to the side of simplicity, right? So again, the key is sustainability. If you don't see yourself doing something a year from now, don't start it, right? We can all kind of make these sweeping changes, but they typically don't last. So think about sustainability and the changes that you're going to make. Become a one liquid man or woman, right? One of the easiest simple changes, right? So no, a lot of people often say that they don't like water, but here's kind of the reality check. Get over it. The reality is your body needs water. It doesn't need soda. It doesn't need, sugar-laden juices and all that kind of stuff. What your body needs is it needs water, right? And focus on the health benefits of water, right? Dr. McCullough, who's someone we use kind of often for our resources because I find his information is really, really great. Many people fail to realize how crucial an issue water is. So he says it's his strong belief that the single most powerful interventions the majority of Americans can make for their physical health would be to stop drinking all sodas and juices and replace them with health-promoting pure water. This is such an important issue because nearly 75% of the US is overweight, and the #1 source of calories is sugar from soda. Diet sodas are even worse. Of course, water is essential for your survival. Every day, your body loses water through urine and sweat. This fluid needs to be replenished. For a while, replenished. So for a while, you can survive for months without food. With water, you wouldn't last more than a few days. If you get the fluid water replacement issue right, then you have made one of the most important and powerful steps you can take in taking control of your health. So he obviously goes on to say how really, really, really important and critical water is. So the Institute of Medicine has determined adequate intake of total beverages per day be about 3 liters or 13 cups for men and 2.2 liters or 9 cups for women. So those are estimates. Again, a lot of it depends on your size and all that kind of stuff. So individuals are going to vary, obviously. So the top 10 benefits, of water are this. And at the end of this list, tell me if this doesn't resonate with majority of the health problems in the U.S. Right? Relieves fatigue, right? Improves mood, treats headaches and migraines, helps in digestion and constipation, aids weight loss, flushes out toxins, regulates body temperature, promotes healthy skin, relieves hangovers, beats bad breath, right? So for some reason, if someone still wants to battle with the idea of consuming water as your newfound beverage of choice, I recommend adding some fresh fruit or citrus flavored, high quality, or citrus flavored or citrus to your water, sorry. And it just kind of enhances the flavor a little bit. So that could be obviously limes or lemons or grapefruit or orange, stuff like that. But don't go down the path of sugary beverages. They only spell weight gain and diabetes and dysfunction in your health. So it's one of the main reasons that we're having some of the health challenges in the U.S. today. So it's such an important step in your overall health. Empty beverage calories are just that. They're empty. They're not even a neutral. They actually do harm. So I try to consume about half my body weight in ounces of water per day. And I do that with a measurement. I know that there's water bottles that I have that I know I have to drink, 4 of these per day, and that makes sure I get enough water in. All right, so naturally energy stimulation, that has a multitude of benefit, right? So this is great for kind of picking up our energy stores. So if you struggle with fatigue and low energy on a daily basis, your body's telling you oftentimes to assess your health and lifestyle choices. Sorry, I just had a screen pop up. So drinking sugary energy drinks is not the answer to chronic fatigue, feelings of being tired and lack of energy. So what if I were to tell you that there are many alternatives to the stimulant that last, they taste great, and they're extremely healthy, right? So a green smoothie is actually kind of like a movement these days. In fact, there's a website called Green Smoothie Girl. It's fantastic. So good stuff. But before I share kind of a few of these recipes, which I actually, I'm not going to be able to actually read them over I'm not going to read you the recipes over the webinar, but I didn't put these on the event page, but I will as soon as the webinar is over. But the cold hard facts really about energy drinks, right? This is like Red Bull and all these other crazy energy drinks. So they actually interfere with your body's ability to use water, and they promote fluid loss, right? So it's actually working against you, right? They raise your cholesterol. It sends your insulin levels absolutely out of control, which means developing diabetes, and increasing fat storage really gets messed up. It contributes to rheumatoid arthritis and stroke. It damages your blood vessels, increases your risk for heart disease, all kinds of nasty stuff, right? So if we can swap that out for a green smoothie, you're actually going to get all the flip of that, right? You're going to get all kinds of great energy. It's going to help your body support the biochemical stuff. So it's all fantastic stuff. So I would highly suggest being able to switch that out. So some of the recipes are like coconut peach, there's mango melon madness, almond butter and jelly. So all kinds of cool stuff. I'll actually post the links on the Facebook event page as well. Another really important thing you can do for nutrition is absolutely go herb crazy, right? Herbs are fantastic. They'll be totally your new best friends when you're in the kitchen. They've been used with so many different dishes, and are perfect for kind of spicing up things and kind of empowering what would maybe someone would call bland food without piling on calories. So sweet potatoes can easily be baked into fries with some cinnamon sprinkled on top. You can take, fresh dill or parsley onto your steamed vegetables, which really enhances the flavor. And find the fresh ones, as fresh as you can. I mean, I know you can get stuff in like, in the little bottles, shakers and stuff like that. But if you can get them fresh, they taste so much better, and your kitchen smells amazing. So things like basil and chives, cilantro, mint, oregano, rosemary, sage, tarragon, thyme, they're fantastic. I love cooking with them, and just the smell, it's fantastic. It totally changes the smell of the house. So things like curry powder, all kinds of benefits, star anise, nigella seeds, so all kinds of stuff. So just experiment. That's kind of the idea. The next thing is kick your kitchen up a notch. This is one of my favorites. So I used to loathe cooking. And then someone kind of gave me the idea of that, your kitchen, could also be kind of like your garage. Your garage, maybe you've got all these tools for working on cars or your house or something like that. Well, they have just as many gadgets for the kitchen that are really, really cool too. So, make sure that you have the resources, the tools available in your kitchen to make things fun. Many people have maybe heard of a company called Pampered Chef. They have all kinds of awesome stuff. So make sure that you do those, take advantage of those things, and it can make cooking a lot more fun. Avoid burnout with simple creativity, right? You can do a lot of different things to make cooking's fun. Make sure your choices, your healthy food choices should never get stale. The kids should keep you eager and excited to consume high quality and nutritious foods. The perfect way to deploy this in your home is to have each member of the family write down their top 3 meals that they enjoy the most, right? Once the list is made, then you can kind of Google that item and add the word paleo to it, and it'll come up with a bunch of different options. So really a great way to kind of do it. You'll find all kinds of wonderful ways to make things slightly different and still enjoy some of the flavors that you really, really love. And it often doesn't involve more than switching out a couple of different ingredients. All right, so we've covered a ton of information. It's a little bit like drinking out of a fire hose. I know I just shared kind of a ton of information, but there's probably 2 emotions that typically surface kind of at this point. One is excitement. It's like, wow, all this cool information I never knew. And the second is overwhelm. So both are are awesome emotions, right? Your excitement will drive you. Your overwhelm will force you to take this process very seriously, right? You've often got a lot to learn. So healthy eating is a staple of a high quality lifestyle, and something that to put time and energy into, because it affects a massive part of your life, right? It creates more energy, better self-esteem. It gives you the vitality that you're looking for. So if you need support in this journey, that's what we're here for too. So you can reach out to the clinic at any time. And that's again, Lifeline Wellness Center. Dr. Caleb and I and the rest of our team, we love guiding people who are ready to take their life to the next level. This is what we do, to help them sort out where things are at and provide the leadership to getting to where you want to go. So for those that are looking for some help with weight loss and weight management and stuff like that, we have a special opportunity in the office. We have what we refer to as a metabolic center. So this is where people want to see exactly where they are, where they're starting, their what's called their metabolic age, understanding and clarifying their goals. We use a DNA program that actually looks at people's genetic makeup and what they need to do to adjust their diets. This is part of what we do through the office. If you want to take advantage of that, it's $29. Normally a lot more expensive than that, but a way for you to kind of touch base on getting some help that you need. And if you want to do that, you just reach out to the office. So you find us through our Facebook page or our webpage, which is lifealignedwellness.com. And we'd be happy to help you. And this $29 actually reserves your consultation, but also gets credited towards the purchase of your DNA test and any program that you decide. So if you want to take advantage of that, that's good for today. So definitely call the office and get that appointment scheduled. So thank you so much for your time, energy, and focus. It's one of my passions to make sure that we really help people and share this information. So have a great rest of the day. If you have any questions, please reach out to our office and we will love to help you. Take care. And this is Dr. Cox signing off.